Well, this was a highly requested video, so here I am, your girl, Sammy, to do it. If you want to learn how to become your best tarot reading self, whether you're brand new to tarot or you're a professional, been doing it for years, but you just would like some extra tips and tricks, these are mine on how to become your best tarot reading self. Now, disclaimer. I've been reading professionally for about 3 years and as a hobby for about 5 years, but I don't think I know everything about tarot. I'm constantly, every day, learning new things and new ways to deepen my practice in reading tarot because it is a practice. I know people who have been reading for 25 plus years who are still learning every single day. That being said, these are my favorite tips and tricks on how to better learn to read tarot. But if you've got some other tips and tricks that you would like to share with the collective, comment below. Tell me some of your favorite tips and tricks, things, or if you have any more questions, comment below and I might do a part 2 to this video. So that being said, hi. My name is Sammy. This is Not Your Average Globe, a safe place where we talk all things mental health, spirituality, and quite a bit of tarot. If you're new here, yes, you can book a private reading with me. The link to all of that is in the Dropbox below. I also do a lot of mental health content where I talk about my journey with mental health, and then I teach like tips and tricks and all that jazz on how to better your mental health. And I do so utilizing a lot of spiritual teachings. So if you'd be interested in that, go ahead and check out my other videos. I do have playlists where I kind of divide them up into tarot readings, 18 plus tarot readings, and they get super spicy because it's not a monetized channel, and more mental health or get to know me videos. So go check them out. All right, so first things first, let's cover the basis. I'm not going to go through each individual meaning of every single card because that would take forever. I could do that as a separate video if that's something you would like. However, I'm going to go ahead and link somebody else's video in the Dropbox that I found very helpful when I was learning to read tarot 5 years ago. I believe the title of the video is like Tarot 101 and it was found here on YouTube, and the girl did a phenomenal job breaking down the meanings of each card and how to memorize them really easily. So I'm going to link that below because that's not the point of today's video, but if you would like me to do something similar, I'm open to it. So let me know. Okay, so first things first, getting your first tarot deck. Some people believe that your first tarot deck has to be gifted to you. It's all superstition. Baby, you can buy your first tarot deck, and you can buy them on Amazon, on eBay, on a specific website for said tarot deck. You could be gifted your first deck. You could find your first deck in a thrift store or at a metaphysical store. I personally like to buy most of my decks at like a metaphysical store because they have like display cases, and usually you can like feel the cards and see which cards are like calling to you, basically which imagery like speaks to you, get messages from it. That would be my suggestion on your first tarot deck, is to find a deck that imagery is very clear and speaks to you. You can get lots of messages just from looking at one image, okay? My second tip in picking your first tarot deck is I would suggest your first tarot deck coming with like a booklet. This is an oracle deck, but this is a quick example. A lot of decks come with these little books inside that is kind of like a cheat sheet. So if you forget the meanings of the cards, you can literally just flip to the page and go, oh, okay, this card means this, which is very, very helpful if you get stumped. And it's not even just about getting stumped. Tarot is universally, each card means pretty much the exact same thing. That's what I love about tarot. You can get a million different decks and they might look different, but the Ace of Cups is always gonna be about an offering of love or a start of a journey of emotional fulfillment, because it's one, so it's the start of the journey, and cups represents your emotions. So it's always like a love offer, or, you know, and even if that card looks wildly different from the good tarot to like the Rider-Waite, it roughly means the same thing. As to where Oracle, every card's different and there's not a set meaning. Okay? So, let's break down some of the basics. Okay? Tarot is 78 cards, okay? And it's split up into two groups. The major arcana, which is like the overriding themes. It's like the Temperance card and the Moon card and the Wheel, and then the Hierophant and the Empress and the Star and the Death, and all of these major themes, okay? The minor, and there's 22 major, okay? And then the minor are like the little nuances, the like smaller details to help you get like a clearer vision of the specific story. It's like the specifics, okay? So it's like the major is like the overriding theme, and the minor is like the specific little details. That's the way that I like to remember it. Okay, so a lot of people get really like confused when trying to memorize the cards, okay? And like what each card means. First of all, don't be afraid to use a booklet. I reference booklets still to this day, even though I've had like this exact same deck for 5 years since I've been reading, I'll still read the booklet because sometimes I just like the way that particular creator of that deck worded it, because they might bring a little zest to it, you know? But there's the 4 suits within tarot, okay? And the easiest way to remember it is the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, okay? So, earth, pentacles. Pentacles deals with the physical, the earth, okay? So this is your environment, this is your money, but this is also your physical body, okay? A lot of times people forget that pentacles can represent your body, okay? Earth, pentacles, the physical. Then you move into air. Swords, this is the mind. So this is like your fears, your I also see this as like your dreams sometimes, but this is your mind, your words, your truth, and you notice that the sword is sharp. Like sometimes your truth hurts, sometimes your thoughts can hurt you, you know? It cuts through the bullshit. This is your truth, this is your mind, this is your thoughts, your fears, like all things going on up in your head, okay? So this is what's happening in the real world. This is what's happening in the physical. This is what's happening in your head, okay? Then you move into fire, which is wands. It's your passions. The fire, wands, passions. So this is like your creative endeavors. This is also like an 18 plus, it's very phallic. This is also like your passions in that way. This is like what gets you excited in life, your passions, your passionate pursuits, your creative projects, your like what gets you like, woo, okay? Wands. Then you go into water, which is your emotions, but I also see this as spirit as well, okay? So this is your emotions, this is your love, this is all the feels, okay? This is all your feels. That's cups, the feels, the love, this could also be like the bad feelings too, like sadness and all that crap, okay? Which brings me into my next like tip or thing to remember. Context matters within tarot. Context matters within tarot. Repeat after me. Context matters within tarot. So if I am doing a tarot reading, yes, the Ace of Swords is about like pursuing truth, okay? We know that's the book definition, but If it's next to the Lovers, it can have a very different meaning than if it's next to the Hanged Man, because context matters. So an easy way to understand the context of a card and what this card is trying to say within this reading, because the card will change. The general meaning of the card will remain the same. But like, say you've got, I don't know, let's pull a card. All right. Say you've got the Nine of Pentacles, right? Okay. This is about, you see this woman, she's planted all these grapes. She's now harvesting her grapes, okay? The 9, it's about like finally seeing like reaping the benefits of what you planted long ago. Like you sowed these seeds, now you're starting to reap the harvest, right? Okay. Well, what is she harvesting? If it's surrounded by Pentacles energy, she could be finally getting money, getting like her due reward, getting paid for a creative project or a job that she started a while back. But if it's surrounded mostly by Cups energy, she could be entering into a romantic relationship, or if it's surrounded by Swords energy, she could be reaping new knowledge, new things that she's learned. So context matters. And a way to remember this is flow. And I did not pick the best tarot deck for this, I am sorry. But flow basically means to pay attention to the way the cards look when they're next to each other. So we're gonna do, this right here, okay? Now, flow is about like looking at all of the cards almost as like a comic book, like in a landscape. Like they're all telling a story. Like if you look from left to right and you read it like a comic book, like this card plus this card plus this card plus this card is telling a story. We're starting with the Nine of Pentacles, which shows the woman in her garden, right? And she's facing the direction, because you want to look at the way their heads are turned. Where are they looking? What are they wearing? What environment are they in? So the journey in this particular reading would start with a woman reaping the benefits, right? And she's looking now towards her passions. So she might have been living a life of luxury, where she was living the good life. She's got plenty around her. She's got lots of pentacles, lots of food. She's well nourished in her current environment where she started off. So this could be somebody who came from a pretty privileged life, right? But now she's wanting to move towards her passions, okay? And in doing so, in moving towards her passions, she's going to find a lot of happiness, because it's the happiest card of the deck. This is the Sun. But you notice that in this particular Sun card, this woman's kind of facing down and almost to the left, right? So flow would show you that she's kind of she's looking down at these sunflowers, which once again, you plant, right? Like she started off in the beginning. But she's also kind of facing in the directions of her passion. So in order to gain this happiness, she's got to keep her focus on these passions, right? And then you end up with the Page of Cups, right? Which shows this young girl facing the direction of the sun, okay? So in order to have this new romantic beginning, because the end of this particular journey, if I was reading this for somebody, it'd be like, okay, you're living a good life, but you're wanting to pursue a new passion, right? And I think that if you pursue that new passion, it'll actually bring you a lot of fulfillment, as long as you continue to keep your focus, because in this card, she's facing the journey ahead. As long as you remember where you came from and you keep your eye on the end goal, this happily ever after flow. This deck doesn't tend to have people like facing a bunch of each other, but like, say for example, the person is showing up as like the Page of Cups, right? And he's in flow facing like the Ten of Pentacles, and his back is turned to like the Queen of Cups. He's not focused on love and romance right now. He's not focused on the lady. He's focused on that bag, okay? You can also pay attention to their environment. What are they surrounded by? In the Page of Cups, it shows this young girl is looking out over the ocean, right? She's currently on land and she's looking out into the ocean. So land is like the 3D world. It's your home because it's earth. Remember what I said about pentacles? Earth is representative of your physical, your body, your home, your money, your job, your career, the physical, tangible things, right? And she's looking out into the vast ocean, the emotional depth. So this could be somebody who is about to go on a new emotional endeavor. It could be pursuing a romantic relationship, or it could be pursuing like a new like emotional maturity, right? It could be somebody going to like therapy or something and like deepening their the relationship with their emotional self, right? You don't have to know the book definition of this card to get all that information. You see how I just did that? So that brings me to my first tarot tip. Don't hyper focus on having to memorize all of the things, because you will overwhelm yourself. Yes, it is good to memorize. Yes, it is good to deepen your knowledge by not just memorizing the tarot, but also memorizing like numerology and the nakshatras and all of that stuff, because there is numbers and stuff that will show up in the cards. There is like symbols and stuff that you need to pick up on. But if you understand basic like symbolism, you can read tarot starting out and get an incredibly accurate tarot reading without knowing and memorizing the book definitions. You can start off by literally just listing off what you see and put it into I or you statements. So if you're reading for someone else, you would say you, but if you're reading for yourself, you'd say I, okay? So pretend I'm reading for you. Pretend I don't know what this card means, but I'm reading for you, right? I'd be like, I see you are reaping a harvest. You planted some seeds long ago, and now those seeds have begun to make fruit. Okay, that's literally what this card's about. That's literally what this card's about. And all I'm doing is describing what I'm seeing in the card. That's my first tip. My second tip is fuck a spread. Man, when you start tarot, people are like, oh, you got to do the Celtic cross, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and everybody tell you all these fancy little spreads you got to do. Honey, you don't need a spread. I've been reading for 5 years, and baby, I barely ever use a spread. My readings are so chaotic because I just kind of see it as like a comic book. So I just kind of lay everything out this way, and then I pull clarification cards. And clarification cards, all that means is like, say I got the Sun and then the Ace of Wands, and I'm like, okay, well, what's this Sun and this Ace of Wands about? What is this, Spirit, can you tell me specifically what this creative pursuit that'll bring me a lot of happiness is? What is this creative pursuit? Oh, the Queen of Cups. Oh, okay, so this might be a romantic relationship. Okay, can I get another clarification, please? Oh, the Empress. Oh! I need to follow my intuition. That's interesting. So, the only layout you'll ever need, in my opinion, is a 3-card pull. If you want one, you don't even have to do this. A lot of people see this as past, present, and future, but this can also be mind, body, spirit, and this can also be the situation and do and don't. So this is super simple. If you want to start out, just 3 cards. And okay, so here. So it's going to depend on context. So whatever question you want to ask Spirit. All right, Spirit. Let's do a past, present, future. In my past, and I like to utilize jumpers, but you don't have to. Some people don't. Some people mix their cards around on the table, do this, and then pull whichever card gives them the warm tinglies. Okay. I like to utilize jumpers. Some people hate utilizing jumpers because they think it's sloppy. Do you boo? Don't get caught up on the little details. You're gonna take all the fun out of tarot. Okay. So in the past, I was the 7 of Wands in reverse. Okay, we're not going to do reversals right now because I don't want to confuse you. Reversals just means like blocked or opposite energy, depending on context, okay? So a 7 of Wands, I was at battle with something in the past, okay? Now I might want to pull a clarification. Spirit, what was I at battle with? Oh, overcoming my emotions. Okay, so I was emotionally pretty turbulent because I was the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is somebody who who's very emotionally mature, very loving. But in the past, I was at battle with that. Okay? So in my present, what's my present energy, Spirit? 2 of Wands. Okay? So contemplating setting out on a new endeavor. Can we get clarification on that? What is that new endeavor? Literally sitting out on a new adventure. So you might even need to pull another clarification card. Like if you want to get super specific, okay. So in my present, I'm wanting to basically build a new life for myself. I'm wanting to adventure out into the world, okay? So that's what these 2 cards mean. All right. If I set out on this new endeavor, what's my future, Spirit? What's my future look like? If I set out on this new adventure, what's this future? Okay, we're gonna not take reversals because I said that earlier. Rest. It's the 4 of Swords about rest and reflection. Okay. And a new perspective. Past, present, future. Now, say you're wanting to do a little shadow work. This exact same spread, the 3 cards, or 3 piles, because I like to pull clarification cards, but you know I have to pull clarifications. It can also be mind, body, spirit. Spirit, so you're wanting to do a little shadow work. Spirit, what's going on in my mind currently? What's going on in my mind, Spirit? Help me to do a little shadow work today. Spirit's calling me out, like I'm telling y'all all my business. In my mind, I'm contemplating setting out on a new endeavor. Okay? What's going on in my body, Spirit, my physical body, my physical life? Ooh, you see that? The Hermit, yeah. In my physical life, I am kind of keeping to myself. This is accurate as fuck. Okay? So, in my mind, I'm contemplating setting out on a new endeavor. In my physical reality, I'm kind of shutting down and staying at home and keeping to myself. What's going on in my spirit? What is my soul craving? This is why I pick jumpers. Love, emotional fulfillment. That's what my soul is craving. So I just did a little shadow work there. You see? You can also do your current situation and then do and don't. Sorry if you guys hear an engine in the background. Okay, so what is my current situation, Spirit? What is my current situation? Current situation, Spirit. Knight of Wands. Okay. Can I get a clarification on that, Spirit? All right, this is going to be incredibly vulnerable, but I'm keeping this as a reverse because Not in reverse, it doesn't apply to me, but okay. So the Knight of Wands is somebody who is pursuing their passions, because we talked about wands as your passions, okay? Somebody who wants to set out and charge boldly after a new beginning. I clarified that. Why would I want to do that? And it's the Four of Wands, which is about like marriage, right? But it came out in reverse. I'm leaving an unhappy relationship, okay? So that's the situation. That's where I'm at, right? I'm wanting a new fresh start. I'm wanting to charge after a new passions. I want a new passionate beginning, leaving behind an unhealthy relationship. So what are my dues, Spirit? What's your advice for me? Go on that hero's journey. Start the journey. Start. Just do it. Just start. Don't be afraid of what lies ahead, the big shadow, the path, all of that. Start that hero's journey. Okay, what do I need to avoid? What's my don't do? What don't I need to do, Spirit? What don't I need to do? Seven of Cups, wear a mask, hide, not show my true self. So if I want to like jump out into the dating world, I need to just do it. I don't need to hide myself. I need to show my true face. I need to be authentic. I need to be real. I need to be vulnerable. Past, present, future, mind, body, spirit, situation, do's and don'ts. That's really all you need. So you don't have to have all these crazy spreads. You can also literally just tell a story by pulling cards. Damn, Spirit is really calling me out. Okay, so starting a new journey, leaving behind heartbreak, and Spirit, what's the outcome? Ten of Wands, carrying a lot of burden. Why am I carrying a lot of burden? Because I've worked really hard at building something. I'm leaving behind what I've built. All right. Now, other tarot tips that I have for you. So, 1, fuck a spread. You don't need it. 2, you don't have to be gifted your first deck. Just go buy one, okay? My next tip is to deepen your knowledge with numerology, all of that crap, okay? And also to pair tarot with other tools. You don't have to do this, but I find it very helpful, especially if wanting to read professionally. Pair tarot with other tools such as oracle or a pendulum, or you can even do homemade things, like you can use Scrabble letters for initials, or dice, or bones for bone casting, or runes, or don't be afraid to mix and match. You can use tarot. It doesn't have to be its own separate thing, right? So you can deepen it with other tools and other knowledge. I love doing this because then you get a more dynamic, more specific, more customized personal reading for yourself and for others. You can also get creative, play with it. That is my next tip. Don't take tarot so serious. Tarot, the oldest known tarot deck was, they don't know the exact origins, but originated in the 14th century in Europe, okay? They don't know the original origins, but that's the first known documented tarot deck was a game. It wasn't utilized for divination until the 18th century, but it came out in the 13th century. That's a big jump. So it originated just as a fun, playful game. And I think that tarot in the witch community kind of likes to gatekeep a lot. They like to be like, oh, you have to shuffle this specific way. You have to be gifted this tarot deck. You have to use this spread or you're wrong. Baby, just have fun with it is not that deep. There is no magic in the cards. This, just pieces of wood. This, just little pieces of laminated cardstock. There's no magic in this. The magic is in you. Magic is just spicy psychology. Tarot is literally just an exercise, metaphorically speaking, exercising your intuition muscles. Baby, that's all you're doing. Tarot isn't supposed to be telling you anything that you don't already know. It's supposed to just give you confirmation about what you're intuitively already feeling. Tarot is just exercising your intuition muscles. That's why I believe some people are naturally a little bit more gifted at tarot, but anybody can learn to be a phenomenal tarot reader as long as they practice. And that brings me to my next point. Practice, 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 practice. I don't give a shit if you've been reading for 30 years. You're still gonna learn new and creative ways to read tarot and to become a better tarot reader. I can look at this exact same card every damn day for the rest of my life, and I will get a different message every time because I'll notice a tiny little detail, and that tiny little detail will speak to me. Also, my other tip is to learn from different tarot readers. Digest other tarot readings. Watch other tarot readers on YouTube, on TikTok, in person. My other tip would be to don't always read for yourself, because if you have a bias, sometimes you'll be like continuously trying to pull the positive cards instead of getting real with yourself. Keep unbiased. Listen to your intuition, and learn from others, because there's always a new and beautiful perspective and way of looking at the cards. Yes, tarot will always have its specific meaning, but context matters, and imagery, symbolism matters. And that about wraps it up, guys. So if you would like me to do a more specific breakdown of what each individual card means, I am willing to do that. However, I feel like it's unnecessary because you can easily find the information in a booklet or utilizing Google, or I will be linking below another YouTuber's video that I found quite helpful, which was like Reading Tarot 101, where she did that. So I feel like it would be a little bit pointless, but if you'd like me to do that, I would be more than happy to do this. Finally, just remember to have fun, and not everything has to be monetized. You can do this just for shits and giggles. You can do this as a ritual, as prayer. It's how I got into tarot, was I just wanted to pray to God, and I wanted to see 3D answers, like talking to God and the divine. I'd be like, hey God, this is happening in my life, and I was having trouble like hearing, so I was like, okay, speak to me, and I just used it for prayer, and also utilize it just for fun, shits and giggles. My kids and I play tarot together, and they're not trying to like make any money and give like a deep, in-depth tarot reading. It's just a fun little game. It's an exercise. So also, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna go, whoops, that's not the right meaning of that card. I accidentally fucked up when you first start learning. That's okay. Sometimes they're called Freudian slips. It's when you accidentally say the wrong thing, but it still applies. Like sometimes certain cards that aren't very clear, like for example, the Good Tarot doesn't look like the traditional like Rider-Waite tarot deck at all. So sometimes I'll get the cards mixed up, and I'll think like the Messenger of Air is like the Page of Air, but it's actually like the Knight of Air, and I'll get it like fucked up. But then like that's a Freudian slip, because in that particular reading it might have been like the energy might seem more like the Page rather than the Knight. But also don't be afraid to be like, oops, I fucked up. And that goes not just for tarot, but that goes for like anything in like within the witchy community. Like there's some tarot decks that have a lot of symbolism from a specific culture, And if you don't know that culture, you might misrepresent that. And the best thing to do in like that situation would just be to go, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Thank you for educating me. And then moving forward with that new knowledge that you have. You might also like begin smudging with like a like cleansing your space with like Palo Santo or something like that. And some people will tell you that that's a closed practice. And then you go, oh, I didn't know that. Well, now I know. So things of that nature. Forgive yourself. Don't take it so serious. It's not that deep. I know a girl who literally will throw her tarot cards up in the air and then just catch one and go, that's my message. And then some people are like, oh no, you have to shuffle this particular way. No, you don't, honey. It's all spicy psychology. What works for you? What brings you joy? Marie Kondo that shit. Okay? I hope this helped. If you have any questions, comment below. I love you guys.